G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video I will be giving you my preview and predictions for this weekend's NRL trials. This is week 3 of the Witzer preseason challenge. Super excited to dive in, check out some of the team lists and give you my predictions for this weekend's footy. Now I do apologise that this one is coming up a little bit late. The reason for that is I drove from New South Wales to Queensland last night. The GPS took us through the bloody country route. So instead of taking like 9 hours, it took about 12. So I didn't get back till about 1 a.m. this morning. So had to have a bit of a sleep. Wake up relatively early to record this video for you guys. So the reason I was in New South Wales was for the Sportshed TV charity match. It was a great event once again. I played for the Goanna Academy. Couldn't get the win this weekend. We came oh so close. A controversial penalty cost us the game there, but it is what it is. And super excited to jump on and give you my tips. But before we do, guys, I've just got a little promo from my partners over at TBC Live. Hey guys, so I am partnered with TBC Live in 2025. Super excited for this partnership. They are a great bunch of guys over there that put in a lot of work to their app. Now, I am running a tipping comp on TBC Live. So first thing you need to do is download the app. This is what the app logo looks like. You need to download that. Click my link that I will put in the description down below. Now, once you click that link, it will take you to my league in the app. You're going to want to join the league because once we get 50 people in there, these are the prizes: an NRL jersey, an NRL cap, and an NRL keyring. So you guys are not going to want to miss out on this in 2025. Thank you so much for TBC for partnering with me in 2025, and thank you so much for your support on the channel. Let's go. Righto guys, I just want to say thank you for checking out the partnership I have with TBC. If you do want to join the tipping comp, the link, as I said, will be in the description. Plenty of amazing prizes for you, but we've got to get 50 people in the comp. All right, enough of that. Let's jump into the tips. That's what you've come to see. Let's get it. So, first game, we'll go through the team list and then I'll give you my quick prediction. So I'm not going to go through too much, mainly just some interesting things to talk about in these team lists. So for the first game, Lockhart Oval, first of a double header, we've got the Manly Sea Eagles taking on the Penrith Panthers. Now, for the Sea Eagles, Falolo, I believe his name is, Clayton Falolo. He is named at fullback, which is interesting to me, which would suggest that Lehigh Hopewadi has locked in a wing spot there for them. Navran Willett could also be in the running for a wing spot as well, which is very interesting. He was incredible last week. So they've both been named there. I'm assuming they might fight for that wing spot. However, I do think Lehigh probably realistically already has it. Dean Madison and Jacob Arthur in the halves. A bit weak there, but you know the rest of the team is pretty strong. You've got Nathan Brown at lock. He's not going to be the lock, obviously. Jake Trbojevic went fully fit. When this team is fully fit and good to go, their best squad will have Jake Trbojevic in it, obviously, as well as Tom. But there is a Trbojevic in the second row. That is Ben. I do think he locks in that jersey there in the number 11. Siwa Takiaho is going to play again. He was pretty good last week. Wasn't great, but he was good. Jazz Tavanga in the number 9 jersey could potentially get the first go at that. You've obviously got Gordon Chan Kum Tong and Jake Simpkin both fighting for that spot, as well as it is up for grabs. Outside of that, not too much to really talk about. That's like Ethan Bullimore in the number 10 jersey. I don't know what is going on with, I can't remember his name now. Paseka. I don't know if he's injured or not. He's not in this squad. Jacob Sykes played for the All-Stars on the weekend, the Indigenous All-Stars. Be excited to see how he goes here. They have named a 26-man squad, so that does tell me that they're probably going to go through a few other options there as well. But yeah, pretty strong lineup from Manly. Obviously not the strongest they could name, but pretty strong in compared to the Panthers squad. So obviously, the Panthers have taken their squad to Vegas now. They didn't play last week, so they're the last of the Vegas teams to play this week. Yeah, not too surprising. They might still take 3 or 4 players over after this game. I'm not too sure, but realistically, there's not too many players that would really push for first grade selection. Asu Kapoa coming from the Tigers potentially. Sonny Luke in the number 6 jersey. Trent Talau, I really do like him. I'm a bit surprised he's not going over to Vegas. I thought he could be a good 14 option for them, but they're probably going to go with Dane Laurie there. Preston Ricky, another one that I thought he played pretty well last week. He was one of the players to watch for me. Harrison Hassett in the number 12 jersey. I think Preston Ricky played last week. I can't remember now. But outside of that, like, not too many. Another Utui Kamanu, Tangata, Utui Kamanu. I'll be keeping an eye on him. Can't wait to see how he goes. But, yeah, outside of that, not too much to talk about there. This should be a pretty convincing win for the Seagulls, in my honest opinion. All right, next up, we've got the Tigers taking on the Parramatta Eels here. So the second of the doubleheader at Leichhardt Oval. So for the Tigers, again, look, they've named pretty well a fairly strong squad here. You got Heath Mason, up and coming fullback. You know, obviously if Jareem Buller is injured, he is probably one of the next men up. Jarrell Skelton and Charlie Staines probably fighting for a wing spot there. Stafford Toa and Brett Naden potentially fighting for a centre spot. Lockie Galvin in the number 6 and Adam Dewey. Don't know how he wants the name pronounced. I'm just going to say Adam Dewey. My apologies if he does want to pronounce it another way. Terrell May, we get a first look at him in a Tigers jersey in the number 8 jersey. Outside of that, not too many surprises. Alex Twal in the number 13 is a little bit interesting for me, especially with Jack Bird in that team. But I do think that Jack Bird will either get the 13 jersey or get at least a lot of time in that. You know, I think he'll get about 55 to 60 minutes per game this year. Hopefully he doesn't get injured. That is my pick there. Anyway, Royce Hunt is also on the bench there, which says to me he probably will be a bench forward for the Tigers. And another player to look out for, Kit Laulili. I can't wait to see how he goes. Tanas Sakar, he looks absolutely good too. Cannot wait to see how he goes. Yeah, you got the Finu boys there as well. So, yeah, Tigers, they name a decent squad. The Eels obviously name a pretty strong squad as well. Isaiah Iongi and I would say Joe Ash Papali'i probably fighting for that number 1 jersey. I would say at this point in time, Isaiah Iongi has locked it in. If he does struggle, I do think that jersey could be taken off him, but I think he'll have it for the first few rounds of the season. Not too many changes. You will see Zach Lomax play his first game for Parramatta. That is very exciting. Jack Williams as well. He was named in the leadership group there for Parramatta. So I think he's locked in a front row spot personally for the Eels. But we'll see how that goes. Joey Lussick gets the first crack in the number 9 jersey. However, Riley Smith, I think, is really pushing for a spot in this side as well. So I'd be very surprised if we don't see some big minutes in Riley Smith in this game. Not too many surprises there. Katunga coming from the Bulldogs, locking in that number 11 spot for now. We'll see how that goes. I wouldn't be surprised if they do select him for round 1. I think he is, he's showing how well he can play at the last week's trials. And, we've seen a bit of it from the Bulldogs last year in the trials as well. So I can't wait to see that. You got Bryce Cartwright, Brennan Hands, Josh Adokar as notable players in that 28-man squad. I will say the Tigers have named a smaller squad, so I do think that they're going to be playing a lot more NRL-ready talent, I guess you could say. I'm going to say at Leichhardt, Tigers get the job done here. Could be a controversial pick here, but I am going to back in the Tigers. I think they will beat the Eels. All right, next up, we've got my Rabbitohs, South Sydney Glory, taking on the Dragons at Glen Willow Oval for the Charity Shield. Love this. This is one of my favourite games of the year. I really, really do like this game. I cannot wait for it. It is always exciting and I love it. All right, so let's go through these lineups. So Dragons, pretty close to full strength, I'd say. You know, you've obviously got new recruits, Clint Gutherson, Val Holmes, Emre Gula, Damien Cook, all in that starting lineup there, as well as Lockie Ilias. My apologies. A bit surprised Lockie Ilias is in the number 7 jersey. He actually came through the grades playing 5'8", so I thought they might have put Kyle Flanagan in the number 7 and Ilias in the number 6, but it is what it is. Outside of that, not too many surprises there. I think Damien Cook will play the first 15, 20 minutes in the number 9 and then move to the number 13, with Jacob Little coming into play about 60 minutes in the hooking position. Tyrell Sloan, I would say, should lock in a wing spot for them. He is in the number 18 jersey, but I do think he will get a bit of an opportunity here to prove himself. Hame Sele, surely he gets in the squad somewhere. However, the Couchman boys, they'd be tough to keep out of this squad, to be honest. They've got a lot of depth, the Dragons. Loco Junior Pacifica Tonga, love that name, man. He is one of my players to watch this year. I do think he locks himself into that 17-man squad at some point this year. He is definitely one to watch, in my opinion. All right, guys. Fast forward a bit now, because I am going to talk a little bit about the Rabbitohs, and I probably will go in a little bit too much depth for this one. This is my side, so there will be a little bit of a few talking points here. So, obviously, Latrell Mitchell, the captain and the fullback for us. Fittest I've ever seen Latrell look. Cannot wait for this. Isaiah Tass and Declan Casey, they will be given opportunities to play in round 1. I would have thought Fletcher Myers would have been the first choice for the wing and Isaiah Tass in the centres, but I do think they will go with Tass on the wing here for Alex Johnston, who is obviously not available till about round 4, I believe. And then Campbell Graham, if he can't return. I think Declan Casey has really put his foot down for that jersey, to be honest. I know it's a bit of a surprise, bit of a shock, but I would not be surprised if he gets that jersey. I think Fletcher Myers is he was great last year, but I do think that Isaiah Tass and Declan Casey have impressed in the preseason. The other players, Jack White and Tyron Munro, we know what they offer. They're going to be locks in that squad. Jaden Sullivan, interesting pick here. I am hearing that he will lock in that number 6 jersey until Cody Walker returns. So really, really happy for him. And he came to South Sydney hoping for a fresh start and an opportunity. He's got that here. And if he impresses in this game until Cody Walker returns, this could be that number 6 jersey. Lewis Dodd, I think he is pretty much locked in that number 7 jersey for at least the first 3 rounds of the year. It's going to be hard to take it off him. He is their marquee signing from England. There's a lot of big things expected of him. I think Wayne will give him till about round 3 to really lock in that jersey. So, very excited to see how he goes. Sean Kepi was phenomenal last week. My front rowers were Tavita Totola and David Mwale, and I still stand by that. But I think if Sean Kepi can keep playing at the level he did last week, I think he deserves to be somewhere in this squad, in the 17 for sure. Peter Mamouzelos has been quite disappointing, to be honest, and I think Jamie Humphries is really knocking on the door for that number 9 jersey. I'd be very surprised unless Peter Mamouzelos has a massive game in this one, if he keeps that jersey for round 1. I'm telling you that right now. I think Jamie Humphries is almost a certainty to lock in that number 9 jersey. Kieran Koloamatangi and Tullis Duncan, they pretty much picked themselves. I think Tullis Duncan, after that performance with the Indigenous All-Stars, has locked himself in for that number 12 jersey this year. Even with no Ewan Aiken and stuff like that, I think that this pairing will be our 11 and 12. I think Jai Arrow will bring some impact off the bench, but I think these two have locked in the second row spots. And Lockie Hubner, he has really impressed. Now, obviously, I've been huge on Hubner, being a Rockhampton-born boy myself. I've watched Lockie come through the grades at the Capras. I can't wait to see how he goes this year. It looks like he's really impressed at South Sydney so far. So I do think he will feature somewhere in that 17-man squad in round one. I genuinely believe that. Thomas Fletcher, another one that has really impressed this year as well. So he could be fighting Lockie for a spot in that 17. Outside of that, not too many players. Ashton Ward was incredible last week, so can't wait to see how he goes once again. And obviously, Jai Gray, the number 15. Very excited to see how he goes. Look, I'm going to back in my Rabbitohs here. I think they can do it again and win the Charity Shield. I think we'll see a big game from Latrell this weekend. All right, next up, wrong way, we've got the Broncos taking on the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs at Redcliffe. Very excited for this game. Should be an absolute cracker. Both teams naming very strong sides. Corey Pakes looks to have locked in that number 9 jersey. Kobe Hetherington looks like he's locked in that number 13 jersey. We'll see Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds play together for the first time. Shibasaki I think he's locked in that number 4 jersey as well. It obviously depends on how he goes in this game, but I don't think he'll lose that. I genuinely don't. And then obviously Jesse Arthur's incredible for the Maori All-Stars. He's locked in that number 5 jersey without a doubt. Jack Goshewis, I always butcher his last name. Jack Goz, we'll just go with that. I think he's also locked in that number 11 jersey. And then you've got Latrell Sigwald. If Reece Walsh goes down, I think he's next man up for that fullback jersey. Josiah Karapani was very good last week. He will probably be fighting a Shibasaki for that number 4 jersey. Outside of that, not too much to talk about there for the Broncos. I think that is pretty much it. You've also got Takura, who's not in the squad. Oh, yes, he is. He's in the number 24. I think him and Xavier Willison will both be pushing for a spot in that 17-man squad for round one. But, they're both extremely good players. Xavier Willison looked pretty good for the Māori All-Stars. And I think Bentakura, he was good in the trials last week. So, yeah, pretty good squad there named for the Broncos. For the Bulldogs, pretty much full strength outside of, Kiraz, who's injured. Yeah, that's pretty much how I see this squad lining up this year, to be fair. Kurt Mann or Jermaine Salmon in the number 13. Either or, it doesn't really matter. I like the look of Jonathan Sewer. He was one of my players to watch last week. He looked the goods, man. I think he could lock in a spot eventually this year as well. So, good. Big things coming for the Bulldogs, man. Look, in Queensland, I think Broncos get the job done. You've also got the first game of Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds playing together. Man, that squad is insanely good. I think the Broncos get the job done, and I think they do. Not comfortably, but I think maybe like a 4-8 sort of margin there for the Broncos. Good win there. All right. The next game, so a doubleheader at Redcliffe as well. You have the Dolphins taking on the Titans. Both teams are naming pretty well full-strength sides. So the Dolphins, no real surprises in the back seven. You've obviously got new recruit Daniel Saifidi in the front row. Kurt Donahue locks in that number 9 jersey for now. Obviously, that is due to Jeremy Marshall-King not being named there. Yeah, look, I'm not too surprised by any of these selections. Junior Tupou, he'll be looking to lock in a spot in the back row. In the backs, but I don't think he does. I think he's a very good depth signing. Same with Max Fianet. Outside of that, not too much to talk about. Finifuiaki named in the number 11 jersey. I think that is how they will line up this year. I think they're pretty close to full strength here. The Dolphins, I don't think there's going to be much changes made there for them. For the Titans, their starting 13 will look a little bit different. Obviously, you've got Jalen DeGroot and Alan Fitzgibbon in the 1 and the 2 jersey, respectively. Obviously, you're probably looking at, Lofi Khan-Pereira will get that number 2 spot there. And obviously, Keanu Kinney will get the number 1 jersey. You've got AJ Brimson and Kieran Foran named in the halves. I don't think that's how they'll do it this year. I know they've said it's going to be AJ and Jaden Campbell. I disagree. I think AJ will probably lock in I think their back 7 will be Kinney, Khan-Pereira. I think the JJ Fafita, AJ Brimson, and the number 5, I think, will be Philip Sami. I think that's how they'll do it. Then they'll go Campbell and Foran in the halves. That's how I think they'll do it, but we'll see how they line it up in round 1. Outside of that, not too many surprises, really. they've pretty much gone with a pretty strong squad here. I think, the Dolphins will cycle through a few non-first graders in this one. Well, not non-first graders, but players that haven't played too much first grade. So I do think the Titans probably get up in this one. I think it'll be a very close game, maybe like a 2 to 4 point margin. I'm backing in the Titans to win that one. All right, we've got the Gosford game here between the Roosters and the Knights. Both sides name very strong squads in this one. So, bit of a surprise, to be honest. Siwa Wong has been named in the 13 jersey once again, so he might have locked that spot in there, no pun intended, because Victor Radley once again has been named in the number 12 jersey. So I do think that Siwa Wong might have impressed in the preseason. But Mark Nawanga-Nitawase has locked in that number 3 jersey. Robert Toya locked in that number 4. Pretty much confirmed here. I guess, you could make the argument that see how the trials go. But I do think that is pretty much locked in there for both these players. Outside of that, we get to see Chad Townsend and Sandon Smith for the first time. Not too many surprises. I would have thought White would have started over Spencer Leniu just because of how impactful Spencer is off the bench. I do think that Benaya does lock in that number 14 jersey, though. I know it's a bit of a shock to some people potentially, but I like what I saw from him last week. I think he will be a tough player to keep out of this squad, especially with Connor Watson in the number 9. I think he'll be a good backup for Watson. I think he's locked in that spot, just my opinion. Outside of that, not too many shocking selections there. Good squad there for the Roosters. For the Knights, James Schiller, bit of a surprise being named on the wing there, but, coming from the Raiders, he looked good last year. I think he's going to be a good signing for the Knights. I'm not mad at that selection at all. Fletcher Sharp in the number 6 jersey. I'm a bit concerned about this halves pairing between Sharp and Gamble. The reason I say that is we just haven't seen enough of Sharp. I know this is trial, so it doesn't really mean too much. It's good that he can get a bit of half, practice under his belt before round 1. And I hope they do stick with these half pairings and don't chop and change a lot. I would have liked to see them go with Will Price in the 5'8 jersey and probably move Fletcher Sharp where James Schiller is. But outside of that, it is what it is. Not too many surprises. I was a bit surprised to see Kai Pearce-Paul in the number 12 jersey there, but I'm excited to see Tyson Frizzell in the middle there for the Knights as well. I think a lot of people have been calling for Frizz to move into either the front row or lock, so I do like that selection. Phoenix Crossland getting the jump over Jaden Brayley. Jaden Brayley on the outer at the Knights, which is a bit shocking in my opinion. But we'll see how that goes. And pretty good squad there for Newcastle. Again, not too many surprises there. I think they've gone with a pretty strong squad. So I do think the Roosters squad is better in terms of just all round. I think it is a better squad, so I am going to back in the Roosters in this one, but this is definitely a game I could see going either way. All right, and to wrap up the weekend, we've got the Melbourne Storm taking on the North Queensland Cowboys. Again, both sides pretty strong lineups. However, Storm have gone with a lot of reserves. Cowboys they've got 5 less reserves than the Storm do, so that will be interesting. For the Storm, obviously, you do have Ryan Pappenhausen on the bench. So, do with that what you will. He is going to get game time. Suafa Longo is just there to start. They are missing Xavier Coates and Willie Warbrick. So, I wouldn't read into the wingers too much here. I do think Howarth and Meady will be the centres. Tyron Wishart obviously in there over Hughes. Hughesy probably not going to get too much trial time, if we're being honest. I do think he is injured, but I'm pretty sure he should be good for round 1. Cam Munster does get the number 6 jersey there. Outside of that, their forward pack looks how I expect it to. The bench, I do think that this will be pretty close to how the bench looks like. Wouldn't be surprised to see Lazarus Valepu get into the 17 come round 1. I have high hopes for him. Outside of that, not too much to talk about there with the Storm. Pretty good squad. For the Cowboys, I I don't think Braden Burns gets a wing spot. He might. He genuinely might. I think there's other players that could get it, although Robert Derby may have missed out last week due to a pretty poor performance. Outside of that, I can see the Cowboys back seven lining up exactly how they have here. Forward pack, I would be surprised if there's too many changes to it. Obviously, you do have Cohen Hess coming back. He is named in the number 20 jersey, but I do expect him to take up a front row spot with Jordan McLean. Sam McIntyre moving back to the bench come round one. Pretty strong squad there. Wouldn't really make too many changes. Thomas McKaylee, I do like the look of him. I've always said it, even when he was at the Titans, I've really liked Thomas McKaylee. I thought Cowboys signing him last year was a masterstroke, but it didn't really work out for him, so we'll see how that goes. In this game, due to the amount of reserves Storm have named, I do think the Cowboys have a better all-round squad, so I am going to back them in, but we'll see how we go. All right, guys, let me know who you're backing down below in the comments, and if you could, guys, hit that like button and the sub button. We're about 23 subs away from 10,000. Which is just incredible to me. I never thought I'd hit that number. So, no, I couldn't have done it without your support either. So, we're so close. If you could hit that sub button, guys, it would mean the absolute world to me. Thank you so much for tuning into this one, guys. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, legends.